What's going on, everybody? We are back, Silver and Blue Nation. Big Game James, my dog, Law Nation in the building. What's up with you, Law?
Oh man, everything fine like wine, man.
Well. We are back and ready to do this again. We had another preseason game 2. We're going to talk about what we saw, the excitement of Tony Pollard again. It's an exciting thing to see what he did. But we're going to go through just a bunch of things that we've seen and kind of, talk some Cowboys football like we always do. But, anybody who doesn't know about the great Law Nation, please, can you tell them where they can find you before we jump into this?
My goodness, man. Just type in LAW Nation on your Google machine and you should see my face and logo. I'm on multiple platforms on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm also on YouTube at LAW Nation, in Twitter, MySpace, and Black Planet. Check me out. Bringing them back, baby.
Bring it back with the Black Planet. Yeah. Oh, my Lord. Well, let me give a few shout-outs to everybody's in here. Make sure you get your mom, your sister, your brother, your sister, cousin, uncle, all of them. Tell them to get on in here so we can talk some Cowboys football. Germ on the beat. What's going on as usual? Tom Jasper Jr., Daniel Baldonado. How you doing? Michael Lasofa. I don't know if I say that right. If I did, please forgive me. Ernestino Gonzalez. Boothang. Who else? And just keep on coming. I know it starts early and then it just starts speeding up. So we'll see here in a minute about what's going on. But first, let's jump in here with the score. Cowboys win the game 14-10 over the Rams in Hawaii. I wish I was out there. Would have loved that weather. It was a beautiful place. Just beautiful out there. But just give me your quick thoughts about the game, and then we'll talk about like our winners and losers. But just give me a quick overview, Law, what you thought about the game.
My quick thoughts is that Dak Prescott, he's the man. A lot of people throw a lot of hate and salt towards his way, but the way his command of the team is everything. And then we got another gem on his team. He wears number 3 and a 6. But this is the thing. Tony Pollard is the guy that's going to be able to be a great complementary piece. I know a lot of people are thinking that he's going to be the end-all, be-all, but no, pump the brakes just a little bit. There's still preseason. So overall, collectively, I like what I'm seeing with this team, especially the defense. I got to mention the defense.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, that defense does look good. I mean, the first team defense out there has just been swarming around the ball. That secondary, I said that could probably be our weak link. I'm still going to say that maybe people can throw on us, but, man, they're looking good out there. Jordan Lewis looks revitalized. He looks like a whole new player from last year. Looks like his confidence is back. You just look at it, just looks like they have a swagger, that front line. And we don't even have DeMarcus Lawrence. We don't have Tyrone Crawford. You don't have Robert Quinn. And you're still seeing that defense get at teams like the way it is. It's a really exciting thing to see. And one of the people that's really been standing out has been the standout in camp. Malik Collins is still just looking like, he's looking like he's going to have a monster year this year, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, man. And it's contract year. You know how it goes when it's contract year.
Yeah, contract year, guys always play better. But, it's never been a situation where effort with Malik Collins, because he's always been a guy that's always had the talent and the effort. But with that training that he did with Coach Jordan, that we've really been watching, and I guess Coach Jordan has talked to him about, having those foot and ankle injuries to really start training more in the sand. And that's really why he went to that concept of training in the sand, so he could stop those injuries that he was having, those lower leg injuries. He said it's been a godsend for him. I was listening to him interview, and he said it's been a godsend for him, and it looks like it's really changed his ability to really go after people and really dig in, because you know what that sand does. I mean, we went out to when we were out in California, we were on the beach.
Man, keeps everything going.
Man, we were running in there, and it's just like, you see the difference. So I think he's going to have a monster year, and I just really can't wait to see what Malik Collins and that defense does. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. And hey, I got to give a shout out to Kerry Hyder. He's working out tremendously on his front four, and also I love what I'm seeing with DA, Dorrance Armstrong. So those two boys right there, Dorrance Armstrong showing that, hey, he's capable of stepping it up just in case if my guy Law is not able to be there week 1 and week 2. I think DA, he's going to be able to still create some pressure. And number 51, Kerry Hyder. I saw him working out with Big Cat, and he's showing us, man, those moves that he picked up during the training camp. And I'm thinking that those type of things That what makes this team great. All of the old heads coming out there showing and teaching these young guys the ropes and everything. So I love this. This is good.
Yeah, and I love it, and I'm excited. And like I said, we're going to just jump right in. So you've been naming a few players, so let's just jump right in. Let's talk about our winners and losers of this game. An important game for some players, and a lot of people want to see some people. The coaches want to see some players this game according to last game. So a person got a player got one particular start. I'm going to mention him, Mike White. Probably played longer than he did the first game. But let's mention your winners right now on the offensive side of the ball. Who are some of your offensive winners in this game?
Oh, man, the biggest winner of all was number 36, Tony Pollard. In my opinion, he proved that he can run in between. He can actually catch the ball out of the backfield. He showed us that the bigger the stadium or the bigger the fields or the bigger the lights are, he showed us that, hey, he's not able to fold up like a wallet. He's going to show everybody, hey, I'm able to run and play in this particular system. So he was a big winner for me.
What about anybody else?
Oh man, you want me to go? You want to give me?
Yeah.
Give me. Okay.
Oh well, I'll tell you what. You name your player, and then I'll flow off of you because honestly, these are probably the same players that we're probably looking at. But for me as well, Tony Pollard was a winner. Because this was the second game that everybody was like, nobody, I don't think was coming like that was a fluke last week but they wanted to see, was this more of an extension of what he's going to do? And he came in and ran hard. I think he had 42 yards, I believe, on like 8 carries for 45 yards, averaged like 8 yards a carry. You saw the burst. I think the biggest thing with Tony Pollard with me is that burst. When he gets the ball, you see it's instant. It's exciting because it's bam. Once he sees that hole, he goes through it. When he scored that touchdown, that 15-yard touchdown, he's slithery too. He's just a smooth cat runner. And as you said before, I'm excited because I was saying that I would love for him to come off the bench. Even if Ezekiel Elliott is not there, I don't mind Alfred Morris because I really believe they're going to keep Alfred Morris. I don't mind Alfred Morris starting, and then you bring in a Pollard because you're going to play Pollard a lot anyway, and there's nothing wrong with bringing him off the bench and letting a veteran lead, start the game, and then you let that young guy come in there and kind of work after that. So to me, Tony Pollard was another guy. Not just running. He caught the ball at the backfield as well on a pass with Dak Prescott. People got a little bit on him because he missed a block and Dak got the sack. But he's going to keep on learning. He blocked in college. He was a blocker when he was rolling with Henderson at Memphis. So I definitely believe he can do it. Just needs a little bit more time. But he was definitely a winner in my eyes as well. Give me another winner on the offensive side.
Oh, man, we got to go with the quarterback, man. I know it's kind of like low-hanging fruit, but, hey, Dak Prescott is a winner out of this situation because how many passes did Dak Prescott miss?
Zero. He's 9 for 9.
9 for 9. And then, hey, join to Dak Prescott, you got to mention number 13, if you know what I mean, Michael Gallup. I'm telling everybody his lower body strength is better. His upper body control, especially when he's in the air, is better. We saw all through training camp, he's able to now toe drag. He's doing a lot of things. I'm telling you guys right now, a lot of people were saying, hey, Amari Cooper, and don't try to crucify me, Cowboy Nation. But what I'm saying is that continuity and report that he got now with Dak Prescott, Michael Gallup might can get 1,000 yards this year. I'm not trying to outspeak my wisdom tooth, but he is the ex-receiver on his team, right or wrong.
Definitely right about that. And I can sway with you at that because Michael Gallup looks strong this year. He looks confident. He looks strong. He looks just sure of himself. He's running those routes good. I mean, and he's expanded his route tree. You notice that his rookie year didn't have his route tree was not that big. You seen him just a lot over deep routes and just slants. You just really saw that. You didn't really see that route tree expand. Now, to me, that route tree has expanded and you're seeing it. And not only that, Dak Prescott and him said they were going to work in the offseason, and you can see the work. You talk about guys that are to put in the work. Everybody was crying about, well, I hope Dak is going on the offseason working with these receivers. I hope Dak is doing this, blah, 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 working and getting better. Well, guess what? He is doing that. He is, and you can see it already right now that he's already took that step with Gallup. The long pass the last week when he went against the 49ers, I believe you made a video. I mean, it wasn't like that was too far off of a play. So you can see that he is becoming his go-to man. Dak is confident with him, and Gallup wants the ball. If Gallup doesn't get the ball, I was watching him in training camp, he gets frustrated. He wants that ball. So I am definitely loving that combination. And a shout out to you as far as Law as well as far as winner is Dak Prescott. Because, man, Dak just looks confident, man. He just looks so sure of himself in that game. Even when he threw that long pass to Gallup, he just looks strong in that pocket. And I'm telling you, everybody's talking about the players that we have, but bringing in John Kitna in the fold has done wonders for Dak Prescott already. You can see it. I don't care what anybody says. It's night and day with last year, because you can't tell me Scott Linehan was there every step of the way, coaching Dak Prescott in the offseason, telling him to do this, working with him. No. And even Kellen Moore, he was the quarterback coach. I just feel like John Kitna is a more hands-on type guy, and I feel like that is going to elevate Dak's game, and I feel like these first two games you can already see the maturation process happening.
You know what? You know what I love when I talk to you, man, about these Cowboys?
What's up?
We like to bring up things that people fail to realize. It's like the intangibles, the things you don't see, right? We were talking about it was the second year with Chris Richard that the defense is going to be naturally better, right? But there's another guy that goes under the radar. We was talking off camera. And now a lot of people not bringing up this guy's name. And they fail to realize this is his second year as well. Am I wrong? His name is Sanjay Lau. So what happened here is that now his philosophy is being implemented into this team, and now everybody start picking up these things, and it become a little slower for them. So now we seeing guys like the Michael Gallups of the world. So we even seeing Randall Cobb saying, hey, this guy is showing me stuff that I didn't know when I was playing for the Green Bay. So what we doing, I'm not trying to put Sean Jay on a loud, on a high pedestal or anything. But what I'm saying is that these guys are attacking the ball, coming back, catching the ball, plucking the ball with their hands. And I know John Vay, he's probably on the loser side of the conversation for the nation. But what I want to say this right quick, like you said, that Gallup, man, that boy is just showing us some stuff out there. Shout out to Sean Jay too.
Shout out to Sean Jay. Just like you said, we were saying it off camera, that guy's made a world of difference. Now, when you come with the Cowboys, you already know if you're a receiver carrying bricks. You know what I'm saying? You're carrying them bricks. You come to the Cowboys, Sanjay Lau's there, you're carrying them bricks. But what have I heard from so many of the receivers that they said they've been around him? Such a great teacher, a technician. He is technical to his craft. You was watching him when he had the receivers leaning, and then right when they lean, they hit that go step and then go to the route. Just little things like that. He is such a technician and a teacher, and I really believe it's made our receiving core better. And plus, when people say that, oh, well, Dak didn't do this and Dak do that, let's just remember our receiving core starting out last year was Cole Beasley. It was Noah Brown. It was Deontay Thompson. It was our first year Gallup. It was a Tavon Austin who was injured. It was that, and then you had Terrence Williams who was hurt. So who would Dak Prescott really have to go to? Now you have a year or two under Lau as well. Now you have Amari Cooper. You have a Randall Cobb. You have a year or two in Gallup. You have a potential player, and you have Tavon Austin, who I think who's going to stay healthy this year. I believe he will stay healthy this year. Also, you got a young player in Cedric Wilson. Devin Smith is coming in the fold. You got young guys. So now it's a whole different world, and it makes it better for a quarterback when he has weapons that he can throw to. Gives him a lot more confidence.
All right, so we won't be so vanilla with our conversation for the next. So we won't be so vanilla, man.
So we won't be so vanilla. You know what I mean?
You got a guy that wear number 85, and you got a guy that wear number 15, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Cowboy Nation, and also Big Game James.
Right.
Who would you have on your team if the Cowboys don't coddle their players? Who you think they should go with?
We already know who it should be. It should be Devin Smith. And I said he wasn't going to make the team because I didn't feel like he was getting the opportunities. He was kind of like everybody was pumping the young guys. Nobody was talking about Devin Smith. But you know what? He quietly stayed to his guns, stayed true, kept on working. I'm not saying he wasn't stepping up in camp, but it looked like he was getting a lot more opportunities in camp, and he's made the most of the opportunities in camp. Had the last few days before he went into this Rams game, and then you see as he did again, a touchdown catch, which was a really nice catch, touchdown grab. And you said you had spoke to him. He had those 2 ACL injuries. That's the only thing that's really held him back because he was a second-round draft pick. It wasn't like he went undrafted. He had a really good career at Ohio State. So you can see he had the talent. It's just been the injuries. And you tell me what you were telling me that he had talked to you and told you.
Yes, we was at a Travis Frederick fundraiser event. Shout out to Cowboys Experience, man.
Shout out to Cowboys Experience, yes, sir.
Yes, indeed. We live on their page as well. So you guys check them out, www.cowboysexperience.com. Check them out if you need ticket pricings and a whole bunch of other things that we do out there for the Cowboys, man. Hey, but I would say I met up with Devin, and he was saying, hey, this is the best I ever felt. And I'm talking about before I even got drafted to anybody's team. This is the best I ever felt. And he said, hey, Son Jay is teaching me so many things. And I said, what number would you be wearing? He said, look out for number 15. You guys gonna see me, and you guys gonna see me out there. So he spoke with that. When we have somebody to speak with conviction, you see what I'm saying, with authority out there, it made me sit there and say, man, because he had nobody. He was just chilling on the side, man. I thought he was one of those B2K guys, man, just sitting there with the curly head. He was just sitting there chilling. I said, well, what's up, man? What you do for the team? Because he didn't look like a football player at the time. Right. And he said, hey, man, I just got picked up, man, but this is the best I ever felt in my life. And I really believe that he may be a surprise out of everybody, man. And he got, like you said, he got the pedigree. You saw him at Ohio State. You follow Ohio State, right? You saw him out there.
I don't follow no Ohio State. I'm Texas all till I die. I live out here, so I have to see them. But don't you dare say I follow no Ohio State Buckeyes. Okay? Don't you say That's blasphemy.
Can we just give a moment of silence for your...
Yes, moment of silence. Yes, moment of silence for Cedric Benson right quick.
Yes, indeed. Amen. Yes. Amen
to that. Definitely. Cedric Benson, shout out. I mean, my condolences goes to his family. I mean, what I seen that broke my heart. I watched Cedric Benson the whole time he was at Texas. He was a monster with Vince Young. I mean, and he was just one of those guys, was a grinder, always was. He was always there. Like, he was always there. Like, you could always count on Cedric Benson. Had a pretty decent career in the NFL. But just really heartbroken when I happened to see that. I was just in shock and disbelief. I'm still actually, to right now, I'm still not really believing it. So it's just kind of crazy. But condolences to his family, and I hope everything goes well, for them.
Amen to that, man. Amen. You just had to do a little soft talk right there.
Yeah.
But
look, check this out though, Law. So we've been talking about the specialty players. I'm gonna tail off on that Devin Smith just to say this. If you're looking at the roster, right? You got Cobb possibly in the slot, or he can go on the outside. Cooper can go on the inside. He can go outside. You got Gallup, who he's the X receiver. He's the route tree is expanded, so you can do a lot more things with him. But here's the thing: when they're talking about, and then you got Tavon Austin, who's like an X factor. You can have him in the punt return. You can have him doing on some jet sweeps. You can do a lot of things with Tavon Austin. And like I said, I really believe he's going to be healthy this year. But then when you're talking about a Noah Brown, right? Here's the thing. And then Cedric Wilson, because I really believe Cedric Wilson is going to make the team. I just feel like they're going to give him that chance. And he was not like he didn't do something when he came out there. But here's the thing. They like Noah Brown because he can block in special teams. But here's the thing. If you're looking at the element, you're playing in the game. Isn't that Devin Smith element with the speed, and he's got the good hands? That would get you excited, because now you get a pump fake. Dak goes, oh, I see Gallup low. Oh, I see Devin Smith deep. And you're not going to be concentrating on Devin Smith. I feel like Devin Smith, the way he's come up in training camp, being sneaky, I feel like he can be sneaky like that in games. Devin Smith can have sneaky games, like a 4 or 5 catch game for like 80 yards and a touchdown. Devin Smith can have a sneaky game like that. So I'm getting excited, and I hope he continue to step up. And you know how they started out John V. Johnson with the first team yesterday. Start Devin Smith with the first team, and let's see what he's can do, especially with Amari out. Start him this next game, third game. Start Devin Smith, and let's see what he can do. And if Devin Smith shows up, I feel like that should solidify that. And the Cowboys need to understand that. Come on, man. Like you said, stop calling Noah Brown, man. He's hurt again.
Yes. We can't look. Football is a game of inches, man, and everybody know that. Hey, when you're injured, hey, it's a part in the course of the game. That's how Dak Prescott got his spot. So I'm thinking, with my small mind and my small knowledge of football, right? You put Devin Smith out there. You just put him out there because, hey, it's gonna be dogs this weekend, right? Dogs. This is a dress rehearsal,
right?
Say what you want, but them boys are going to try to really make this team, because they playing for what? A full quarter now, or 2 quarters, however they play?
They're going to play at least to a half.
At least to a half. So you can really get the chance to see what Devin Smith can do. You see what I'm saying? But if you will never know what Noah Brown can do, we saw him in the playoff game against the Seattle Seahawks. You see?
Right.
And then on top of that, we drafted a Schultz. We got a Jarwin. We got a tight end, number 82 out there. I don't know his name. Who's number 82? But we got number 82, who's all reliable. You saw that first down he got on the third down. Mm-hmm. So we got some guys that can block. So why not stop coddling? And trust me, I love Noah Brown's skill set, but I like the fact that you can put somebody out there with some speed to take the top off the defense. On top of that, you was in the backfield. It's Ezekiel Elliott when he gets his contract deal going,
Well, we're going to see what happens with that. So I'm going to give one last winner, and this is on the offensive line to me. He was a winner to me, was Cam Fleming. And I believe the reason why I gave it to him because we've heard about, we'll talk about this later in the show, but we heard about the back injuries, maybe possibly flaring up with Tyron Smith again. And we kind of honestly know about that the last 3 years has been going on. But to me, Cam Fleming last year was okay. He was okay. Wasn't bad. He was okay. But to me, even in training camp, he looked a lot better. He looked a lot better in training camp. He looked strong and stout. And even in this game, you didn't hear anything. And that's the thing I like to hear. You haven't heard anything about that left side with Tyron Smith. You didn't hear nothing about that left side yesterday, and that's what I like. I feel like Cam Fleming has held it down, and it gives me more of a hope and makes me feel better. So if a Tyron Smith does miss games this year with that back flaring up, now I feel better because you have a Cam Fleming that can play that left tackle. He played it toward the end of last year, had some uneven games, but still was solid. And I feel like he's going to be even better this year. So I feel like that was a winner to me because you worry about those injuries. And now Cam Fleming gives me a more settled mind going into the 2019 season.
Oh, yeah, man. You speaking the truth on that with Cam Fleming. It's just like the safeties. If your name is not being called, you're doing a great job with the offensive line, right? Exactly. But you're missing out one guy that I want you to put on the table, man.
Tell me.
Hey, you said, hey, Law, check this guy out. And I still haven't pulled up his film, but I saw a little bit what he did the other day. He wear big number 44. Break it down for the nation. Break it down for me, man. Tell him.
Hey, I told y'all, dog. I told you, man. I said, remember when we was at camp and you had mentioned Gifford and you was like, hey, watch that Gifford. And then me and G looked at him. He was like, yeah, he looks like a Van Der Esch type with that body type. And he was this sideline to sideline. And then you seen he came out of camp. But this guy I had seen when the Cowboys picked him up and I seen his tape. I played it on my page and I was like, man, this dude is everywhere. I mean, he played in our division and in the Big 12, so it's not like I hadn't heard of him, but you don't focus on the players, you really focus on your team, Texas. But man, this kid is everywhere. 6 foot, about 220 pounds, not that big, maybe 225, not that big, but the kid is everywhere. And I was hurt when they cut him. I believe they brought a tight end. I believe they brought somebody in. They cut them and they brought him back, and I was like, let's see what he can do. First game, second half, 5 tackles. Second game, second half, 7 tackles. That's 12 tackles in 2 games, and he had the big interception, and nobody thought he was going to catch that interception. That was a great play that he made, and like I said, he was all over the field. And to me, when you look at Covington, who just got hurt in the opening play, and last year he was hurt, he had nagging injuries already the first 2 years, I don't think he was a great draft pick, and I thought he was going to get cut last year. He hasn't done anything to impress me this year, and I feel like a guy like Phillips, and if Gifford, he's probably going to get ironed because of the ankle, but Phillips should be able to push his way on the roster, especially with Covington not looking really sure. Marshall Lillard will probably make the team. I'm not super impressed with him, but I believe Phillips should be able to push Covington off the roster.
Wow, that's deep.
Deep. But let me ask you this, Law. What has Covington shown? What has Chris Covington shown us anything in these 2 years?
Snatching a roster spot from somebody else.
That's
all
it.
He showed me.
We need more from our linebackers. And if you got a young guy who's everywhere and he's making plays, that's what you want out of your linebacker position. You don't want your linebacker being quiet. Covington had 5 tackles in that first game. You didn't even know about it. You get what I'm saying? And sometimes you can make tackles, just like I was telling you, Marshall Lillard. He had 9 tackles in that game, but a lot of them were back after the line of scrimmage. So those aren't impressive tackles. Even though you have that many, those aren't impressive tackles when you're not getting them behind the line of scrimmage. And to me, Marshall Lillard is not the biggest guy. He's not super athletic. But you know what? He's scrappy. They love his attitude, so that's why they'll probably keep him. But when you have these guys like Gifford, who's 6'3", 245 pounds, and then you have Phillips, who's all over it, everywhere, those are the type of guys that you need to keep on the team to keep on growing, not the guys that are really not going to make the impact and really not going to do anything for you later down the line.
turnovers and takeaways, and just getting into the opposition face is what I'm looking for. So if they can do that out there on a game, I don't care if it is preseason. I think that stuff is contagious, and they can move over to the regular season. So I will always give a winner up to the person that's taking the ball and snatching it away from the opposition. Man, yeah. So, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Let's hope that goes. Somebody else who looked good on defense, since we switched over to the defense right quick, I like Joe Thomas. He was a winner to me too.
Oh, yeah.
Because, Sean Lee has been hurt. We already know about that. I said yesterday I'm not going to go ham on Sean Lee because he's the good guy. Everybody loves Sean Lee, so I'm not going to say nothing about him. But he's hurt again. You get what I mean? So when I see Joe Thomas out there, that kid, number one, Joe Thomas got bigger. I don't know if he was that big last year, but he got bigger, and he is an enforcer. He likes to lay the wood on people. He's very aggressive, and I like that. And I think him, LVE, and Jalen Smith are flowing off each other, so I don't feel bad at all if Sean Lee has to sit out because you got a Joe Thomas right there in the fold, and it makes me feel good. We also were talking a little bit about Malik Collins. I think he's going to have a tremendous year. He was another winner. But here's another player that's a winner to me right now who has been much maligned over this all summer, Taco Charlton. Hey, these last two games, I know this not the first team, whatever, but he has looked more aggressive. He has been back in that backfield. He has made plays as far as in the running game. And I feel like, you know what, he's got this little bit of chip on his shoulder because now he's feeling like, you know what, he doesn't have the entitlement anymore. Now he was hearing there that guess what, you may get cut because we got enough people out here that we don't need you.
Yeah,
so that
Taco.
You feel me? That changes your mindset.
Let me play devil's advocate with you.
Okay, talk to me.
I think I lost your voice a little bit on here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think I lost you a little bit, James.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
All right. I was gonna play devil's advocate right quick. If you had a choice between Dorrance Armstrong or Taco, who you pick and why?
Dorrance Armstrong Jr. Why? Because he's better. Okay. Well, I mean, and the main reason why I'm gonna take Dorrance over Taco is because I feel like he has more upside down the line as well. I feel like Taco is the type of player that he'll kind of plateau and be this player, and that's what he'll be. I feel like Dorrance Armstrong Jr. has a higher ceiling, so he's going to continue to get better and better. I think he's more athletic. I think that he's a guy that you don't have to play all game. He can just come in there on a third down and make plays. I don't see that with Taco Charlton. I feel like he's a guy that has to play all game, and I just feel like Dorrance Armstrong Jr. offers more explosion off the line of scrimmage. And I've seen it in practice. You've seen it in practice. Dorrance, you've seen it in the game yesterday too. He had a good game yesterday as well. So I just feel like he's more of an explosive type player. And if you're looking at somebody that I would keep, it would be Dorrance Armstrong Jr. for me.
All right. Do 56 makes this roster?
Ooh. That is, man, now that's a tough one. That is so tough. And you know why it's tough? Because Kerry Hyder looked really good yesterday.
I'm trying to keep it PG-13. Boy, I'm about to say something.
Kerry Hyder looked really good. Kerry Hyder looked good as hell yesterday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, from the inside in out.
Inside in out.
Yeah.
You know what? And like people forget, he had 8 sacks his first year with the Detroit Lions, and he played inside and out, played over the 5, played the 0, played left end. So, and then you had another guy who looked good too, Christian Covington. He was very active yesterday. He's been active all camp and games. So, Woods is looking good. So now I'm like, man, how is Joe Jackson going to make this team? Because you still have Quinn, you still have Lawrence, you still have Crawford in the fold. I don't know how he makes it, not because of talent, but he might get squeezed because of numbers.
Daniel Wise. What do you think about Daniel Wise?
He'll go practice squad. I think Daniel squad goes strictly practice squad. I think they love him so much, and he just has too many bodies in front of him. And I think the practice squad would be good for him to probably put on some weight because he's not the biggest guy, and he played a lot of defensive tackle at Kansas, and he's about 285 pounds because you've seen they had him playing on the outside as well, lined up with Tristan Hill. So I definitely feel like Daniel Wise is somebody they're going to keep, but they're going to strictly put him straight to the practice squad to develop him.
I tell you what, through these segments here, Big Game James, we're going to have to give a special segment with like, who gonna be the practice squad 10? You know what I mean?
I know, right?
Let's go ahead and do the losers, and then we can try to squeeze in that practice squad 10, and then we go down the list. Uh, I can tell you the first loser, man.
We already know who the number one loser is.
Oh man, is it Mike White?
We know who the number one loser is. Mike White. Mike White is cut. Mike White is gone.
I want to be like Mike.
Yeah, Mike White. And I was hoping and praying because I loved him coming out of college. I thought he was going to be a good developmental guy. But that dude is like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Look.
He got look. This is the craziest thing, Cowboy Nation. He got the best arm on the team.
Right.
Got the height. He got the size, the measurables, the anticipation. He got all of the quick feet. But when the lights cut on, it's just like it's like, oh, the lights are on. I can't play.
It's scary. I mean, he looked terrible, man. I mean, guys were open. I mean, yeah, there was a pass rush, but dude, come on, you get pass rush in the NFL. That's what happens in the NFL. You're supposed to be able to improvise and make plays, and it's not like you're not athletic. So, man, dude, like the play, all I can say is Mike White, you cut. I don't know if they put him on the practice squad because I want to see what they're going to do with Taron. But man, he might be like one of them experiments like we failed.
Oh my goodness, Mike White. Come on, man. I was rooting for you, man.
I like Mike White, but that he's shell shocked. You seen it, Law. He gets in there spooky. Like he looks scared. Like when he gets pressure, he just looks jittery. He doesn't know where to go with the ball. He doesn't look at check downs. He just looks panicky, pitter-patty feet. I don't want him playing in any kind of NFL game with the Dallas Cowboys at this point. If no way, no how, no.
Let's trade him over to the Eagles, man. Because they're going to need a backup quarterback after a while.
I mean, yeah, but I would take some Cody Kessler over him all day long.
Oh, man. We was talking about it off air, like some of the backup quarterbacks. Blake Bortles, man.
Man, we could have squeezed some Blake Bortles for the cheap. We could have got him. I would have been definitely happy to take Blake Bortles as a backup. But in defense of Cooper Rush, because I've been bashing him like no other.
Right.
Sorry, Cooper Rush. I will say you played better. To me, in my eyes, now, and I feel like the Cowboys you're going to be our number two. Like, he's the number two quarterback. We already know that now.
And he throws the best fade on the team, though, you know.
He don't have an arm, but he has that soft kind of like, you remember Chad Pennington?
Yeah.
Pennington arm blew up like 15 times, but he had touch. And, you know, even Drew Brees doesn't have the biggest arm, but he has that really good touch. And I feel like Cooper Rush. Now, I'm not comparing it to no Brees, okay? I'm just saying touch. When he throws the ball, he has good touch on the ball, and it's a very catchable ball. As you saw that touchdown with Devin Smith, it's a very catchable ball with Cooper Rush.
Tyron Christian, they just, you know, they coddle, and, you know, I ain't going to talk about it, you know.
Who's another loser on the offense? Name him. I know you're going to name him.
Oh, man, my God, man. He's pressing. He was pressing too much, man. And I love every bit of what he was doing during training camp. He's 173 pounds, man. Reggie. I know you said he probably smaller than that, but he pressing, man. He can run every route on the tree. He's fast, he's quick, he's elusive, but he's trying too much. And sometimes when those lights cut on, you know, you press, and that's what we saw from him this past weekend. I think that he's a big loser with that. Yeah,
I know another big loser is John V. Johnson. I feel like he cut himself this game. You have too many drops, and it's kind of like you're a rookie and you're undrafted. Now, if you were a second-round draft pick or something like that, they're going to give you a chance. But you're not getting these chances as an undrafted rookie. And if these were your problems in college and now they're resurfacing in the NFL, they don't have time for that. They have to make guys that got to make plays because, you know, it's a thin line on that football field. So you have to make plays when your number is called. And he just hasn't made the plays. We see the talent, we see the speed, we see he is a good route runner, but it doesn't matter if you can do all that if you can't catch the daggone ball. And I feel like that has cut him. I feel like maybe he can go to the practice squad, but I feel like Jalen Guyton is a guy they definitely want to go to the practice squad and develop him. But I don't know if John V. Johnson even makes the practice squad now. Because of it, it's going to be so crowded with that practice squad players as well.
You should have. Well, you might have to switch positions or something. You know, they say wide receivers that can't catch play DB. So I don't know. He got speed. He just can't catch, man.
Yeah. It just hurt my soul how it looked because everybody was he was like the darling of camp, but how quick you can fall. That's how quick you can fall. Just a couple of drops, and then you went from the darling to, man, you're about to be off the team. So he's another loser on the team. Let me name a few other losers to me. I'm gonna say that
Break it down.
That backup offensive line. I don't know nothing about the offensive line. I'm not an offensive line guy like Botch. He knows those guys like no other. But to me, Campos, you're a loser. On Mitch Hyatt, you're a loser. The number 60, loser. Just the whole backup offensive line right now. Connor McGovern, hurry up and get on this football field. We need to see what you look like. But I have no kind of any kind of confidence if any of them guys were hurt and you had them guys blocking, because Campos was getting out-muscled all game. So was Mitch Hyatt, have no feet, and they were just getting killed. So those were losers to me. They were thinking about possibly keeping them on the team. No, I feel like they cut themselves. I feel like the only one that they may keep on the offensive line, who they developed last year, was the Redmond kid. And I believe they like him because he's versatile. You saw him and Joe Looney. Joe Looney started out as center. I believe Redmond was playing guard, and then they switched, and Looney went to guard and Redmond went to center. So I think they like that versatility with him, and I feel like they like how he developed. So I feel like he can stay on the roster. But those other guys, those are straight losers to me.
Hey, man, do you buy into any of the rumor mill that was out there saying that Cowboys be willing to trade offensive linemen or defensive linemen?
I heard Calvin Watkins saying that. I was thinking that was a possibility, but now I think with the Quinn injury, I think that changed everything, at least with the defensive line. I think maybe Taco Charlton was a possible person. Maybe that's the reason why they could have been starting him as well, to get his maybe trade value up. Just in case. But I think when Robert Quinn got hurt, I feel like that really saved his spot. As far as the offensive line, I heard, the La'el Collins. Some people were throwing about La'el Collins possibly getting traded. I just don't see that happening. I feel like they're going to roll with it this year. I don't see the Cowboys doing any kind of major trades. But, that was out of the norm when we made that trade, when the Cowboys made that trade with Amari Cooper. I feel like they just really moved past that, and I feel like they're solid with what they want to roll with this year.
True, man. Spoken of words of wisdom, man. I really appreciate that information, man. So, hey, those losers that you said, and I would just want to just pick out the fact that could it be possible that we trade any of those losers? But
no, I don't think anybody wants those guys.
Nobody wants those guys. Oh,
no, nobody wants those guys.
Let
me give you. I forgot. I know we went to the losers. I'm so sorry, but let me give a winner right quick. Donovan Alumba. We ain't talking about him. He's a winner.
all the way. Number 32. Never seen 32 look so good on this Cowboys team.
Yes, I like that jersey with him, man. Don't you? I like that 32. He's got the dress. Somebody called him a baby Sherm. Somebody called him a baby Sherm, and he has good size. He's about 6'2". Came from Portland State. I like how they let him stay on the practice squad last year. I think if we're talking about a loser, was probably Michael Jackson. Because you know what? He didn't play, and I think possibly they may be trying to save him for the practice squad now, because now you look at your lineup with Byron Jones, Cheeto, who's looking really good. Mm-hmm. Jordan Lewis is balling out. We're looking really good. Anthony Brown, and I feel like now Donovan Alumba has slid into the 5th cornerback, where they were possibly looking at Jackson to being that guy, but he's been getting torched like no other. I just feel like he's not ready. Go let him develop and bring that Alumba kid up and let him work, because Alumba is aggressive and he's always everywhere around the ball.
You know what happened to Michael Jackson? His height. his hype dried up just like Ahmad Dixon. Remember Ahmad Dixon was on our team? Oh my God, yes. Yeah, he was hyped. I'm like, woo! Yeah, that boy gonna do something. Then all of a sudden he disappeared. That's what happened to Michael Jackson. But give me your top 10 all time for this year practice squad guys. I can say Christian is going to be the quarterback, right?
I'll say Christian, and then
Mike Weber.
That's 2. Receiver, 2. I think Jalen Guyton goes to the practice squad.
It's 3.
I think that Lucas kid may go to the practice squad. That tight end.
Okay.
I think they like him. Number 80.
Practice squad eligible.
I don't know if he's practice squad eligible. He's like 27, so I don't know. Okay. But let's say I'm gonna just throw him in the 4 because I think that's 4. And offensive lineman, I think maybe I don't know. And I'm not gonna throw Hyatt on. I think because only reason why I'm gonna say Hyatt because they gave him a lot of money.
Yeah, they did give the kid a lot of money. That's 5.
So that's 5. Michael Jackson.
6.
If Phillips doesn't make it, Phillips.
7. Okay. This is fun. This is fun, guys. Y'all put y'all thoughts down at top 10. Primo.
Okay. Do I think Wilson makes the roster? I think he does. You think Wilson makes the roster?
Yeah, he got that.
I think he is. I think Wilson's gonna make the roster.
You can't put him on the practice. Somebody gonna scoop him up.
Somebody gonna take him. You can't. He gotta be on the active roster. I think that Darren Thompson. Is he eligible again?
No.
He's not eligible again, is he?
He's gonna be another one of those running backs, probably. Chun or somebody.
Chun. I like Chun.
So he's gonna be got two more spots. Got two more spots on the practice squad.
I'm gonna say John Vay slips on there.
John Vay, we got one more.
Mike
White.
Heck no. What? They may do it.
They may do 2 quarterbacks on the practice squad, huh?
No, they're not gonna do squad. No. Let me see. Who else would I be? Who else? Because they're gonna IR.
Oh, they said
Jelks. Yes.
Yes.
Jalen Jelks. Yes.
He's not gonna. Jelks just need to get. He just need to get that plan.
Jelks is nasty.
Experience. He's nasty.
Well, okay, but hold up though.
That
means Joe Jackson. If let's say that was that 10. What about Joe Jackson? He's the guy that you were like, because remember, where does Joe Jackson fall?
Oh my goodness.
That's tough because Jalen Jelks is going to the practice squad. They're keeping him.
Yeah, they got to.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to mention Chris Restory. He's going to the practice squad.
Oh, buddy.
Restory is going to that practice squad. Hey, he hasn't even played, and they're saving him because they don't want nobody to see him.
See how hard it is, man. I'm glad we don't have to make these decisions, man.
It's gonna be.
Oh my god.
So a lot of people, my Cowboys family. What's up with my Cowboys family? A lot of people think Joe Jackson's gonna make the team.
He said Joe Jackson's gonna make the team. Number 56 do look good though. He look good out there.
He can make the team. Yeah, he can make the team.
You say that I know that he's a part of the show and everything. He's part of Cowboys Experience, but at Tyron Crawford, hey, do you think that they can save how much money if they?
I think they saved like $8 million. But I said to me, I told this a week ago, and they asked me who would be your surprise cut, and I said he would be the surprise cut because of the talent we have. Like, let me ask you this: if you had a Joe Jackson who you were afraid to lose, and you had a Tyrone Crawford, and you feel like you're going on this Super Bowl run, do you feel like Tyrone Crawford makes that much of a difference on the team this year, or do you have the threat of losing to Joe Jackson to another squad?
Yeah, man, it's hard, man. They're gonna go with the veteran guy, though. You know, if Tyrone Crawford didn't get suspended, right? He's gonna be playing week 1, right?
He didn't get suspended.
They didn't even mention nothing. I'm gonna knock on wood. Yeah. But I don't know, man. That Joe Jackson, though. That Joe Jackson. You saw what Joe Jackson did to Michael Jackson, man. That Joe, man.
Joe ain't no joke. And he got that, and he's big, and he can play left. He was playing right defensive end. He was playing left defensive end. You can slide him in because he's that big body, and he's very active. I mean, personally, he's probably better than Crawford. Not right now, but that ability long term, ceiling is higher. Now, Crawford had a career year last year, though, 4.5 sacks.
Yeah.
That's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy to see.
You know Joe's not going to give you 4.5 sacks this year. So,
no, that's not happening.
And if I'm coach, I got my back against the wall. And,
I'm going to go with a veteran.
I'm going to go with the veteran because I'm trying to keep my job.
Right. Now, if he was feeling secure and he had won a Super Bowl or something like that, then I'm feeling frosty about myself and I'll just cut you.
He be trying to bring Tito. He be trying to bring Tito up in here.
Heck yeah. All right, so we talked about some winners and losers. Now we're going to talk about some individual players, and we're going to focus on one player in particular. Everybody's been talking about him. That's Tony Pollard. I think I'm excited. I was excited day one, and I remember we had been talking about him way back in the day, and I said I want to temper my enthusiasm. I don't want to put him in the Hall of Fame. I said, but this kid is nasty. Just watching that tape, that balance, that speed, that power, look, that acceleration, that burst, just has you excited, man. Like, for real, when he gets that ball and that burst, it's that burst, man. It's like, boom, he gets through that line, he hits it, and he goes, and I love that. And I'm telling you, Ezekiel Elliott comes back in the fold, and please, Zeke, be in shape because I worry about that. But if Ezekiel Elliott comes back in the fold, dog, and you got that 1-2 combo, that could be so nasty and devastating.
lethal weapon, man. You know, my thing is with this running back situation, we look at running backs and we look at the Dallas Cowboys, and we've been looking for that running back to just stay on the field, and we can just don't have to worry about that spot. And we had it for a spurt with Julius Jones, and then he got snapped up. Remember that? And then we had the deal with Felix Jones, and then we said, okay, he was a first-round draft pick, but he was missing something. And then we saw it with the Marion, the Barbarian. We was like, okay, the 1-2 punch with the, you know, with the Jones and the Marion Barbarian. Then they had Tashard Choice. They had three-head monster. And then we went over to the DeMarco Murray. We was like, come on, man. This guy is something special. You know, he had his come-out party against the L.A. Rams, or what, against St. Louis Rams at the time. And then we fast forward and we saw glimpse. Remember, what's his name? Joseph Randall. We saw a glimpse of it. We like, okay, good 1-2 punch with DeMarco Murray. He talking about leaving meat on the bone. We'll see what he can do when he gets the full Ram, you know, behind, you know, the deal. And then we saw, I'm just giving you guys the running back things that have been going on for the last 10 years, 15 years. We saw, what's the kid, Run DMC. It was like, okay.
Darren McFadden.
Darren McFadden. We saw him. And then we fast forward, we saw Ezekiel. That rookie year, we was like, oh my goodness, we set. And then Roger Goodell said, ho, lower your expectation, Cowboy Nation. I'm gonna play with y'all a little bit on this Ezekiel Elliott situation. And then Ezekiel Elliott, he kind of, I'm not gonna say he fell off a little bit, but he kind of like worried in his head. He grew facial hair all the way down, longer than mine. He didn't, you know, comb his hair at all. It looked like he didn't brush his teeth on the sideline. So it was kind of crazy, right?
Black lips.
Black lips and everything. And he like he was going through the motions, man.
Right.
I'm like, God, man, y'all just leave a good kid alone, man. And then now we fast forward and we at this point right now, you know. And I'm just gloss over Alfred Morris. My thing is with Tony Pollard. I'm scared, man.
Wow.
I'm scared, man. I'm just scared, man. I'm gonna be a scaredy cat today, because I'm looking at it like, please don't let it be a Lance Dunbar situation. Please don't let it be the other guys that I just mentioned, all those names that we have all these high expectations for, and then week one we don't see this. So all I'm sitting back and saying,
I don't believe that though, Law, because I feel like Kellen Moore is different. I think the only thing that's going to have me nervous when you mention all those players, when you mention most of those players that you mentioned had injury problems.
Yeah,
that's the key that stands out to me. As long as the kid is done, because we have the injury bug with running backs like no other. I don't know why, but as long as the kid, that's the only thing I care about. Be injury free, because if he's injury free, I really believe that the coordinator we have in Kellen Moore is really going to get him the ball. Look at the offense. just watching the offense now, I feel like it's a lot more variety already, and it's been vanilla. I feel like you're going to see a lot more stuff when that week one comes around. And like I said, Tony Pollard is Kellen Moore's pet cat, because he's the guy that got on the phone and personally wanted a Tony Pollard. So he is going to get Pollard on that field. Even with Ezekiel Elliott, there's been, you was at training camp, you saw him running them two-back system. You've seen him running those two backs back there. So that is something that's not going to be out of the norm. So Tony Pollard is going to get, at least to me, like 15 to 20 touches somehow in that game. Somehow, whether it's receiving, at least 15 touches. Yeah. It's either running, it's going to be receiving, it's going to be something. But Tony Pollard has to get the ball in his hands. You're going to have Ezekiel Elliott trucking you guys, and then after Ezekiel Elliott batters and bruises you guys, that third quarter, you're going to just give it to Tony Pollard, and he's going to take it to the house. That's what they want to have, to me.
That's what I'm envisioning too. But I'm just like, oh man, this thing can't be. It's like it's surreal, man. It's like, man, we got the perfect team right now. But now, of course, we got to get Ezekiel Elliott back out there. What's the magical number for Ezekiel Elliott? I do know there was 25 touches. We are like 23-2 or something like that. If he got 25 touches or more, 100 yards, we kind of like undefeated almost.
Yeah, I think we only lost one game, I believe, when he's like got 25 touches and gets like over 100 something yards. I think it's only like one game we've lost. So I mean, you can see the difference when he's there. Because like I said, people aren't going to be afraid of Alfred Morris. I believe he's going to start. So please, Zeke, get in camp, because that offense is going to be so freaking potent when you got Ezekiel Elliott in there. So while we're talking about Ezekiel, we might as well just switch to him, because here's the thing I do worry about Ezekiel Elliott, I don't even want to I don't want to jinx him, but you have to talk about it. So many times we see players that are in training camp. We've seen it with Dez Bryant. We've seen it with a lot of players that they're out training, but they're not in training camp. And to me, that's different. You can be training, you can be doing whatever, but it's different because you're not getting hit, and football training is different than regular training. So you see a lot of these guys, especially receivers and running.
Well, hope I didn't lose you, man. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So, so you're talking about, the training camp is different from you going out there practicing on a beach somewhere in Cabo, opposed to being out there running and picking up I guess continuity is another thing, right?
Continuity, and just those little nagging injuries. You see the hamstring injuries, you'll see the ankle injury, you'll see the foot injury, you see the little tiny injuries that you usually didn't see in camp because you're training a certain type of way. That's the only thing I just worry about. You can be down to 220, but I just hope, and pray that everything is all right, that you come into camp, you don't have like a pulled hamstring or something like that. So also with Ezekiel Elliott, when do you think he's going to be here week 1? I mean, like, what's your gut feeling? Is Jerry Jones going to assign Ezekiel Elliott to this contract?
Like Jerry Jones said, Ziku, right?
Okay.
Jerry's the ultimate salesman, but and I know Ezekiel Elliott heard that comment, but my thing is, I think that he will be there week 1. I don't think that. Look at it this way. There could be a possibility that this NFL won't have a season the following year, right? Or the following year or something
very
like that.
Possibility, yes.
High possibility. So he needs to make as much money as he can, but he got 2 years until his contract is over with anyway. But I'm looking at it like this. I think the Cowboys got enough money in the reserves to go ahead and give him an offer. They made him an offer, but it may not be the offer he want, but he's going to look at Tony Pollard this weekend, shine again, and he's going to be like, you know what? I need to show you guys that I am Ezekiel, the main man, Elliott. So I think that he's going to be out there week 1. I don't think that he should sit out. I don't think that would be a wise choice for him.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you and I understand it. I'm just my feelings right now is I don't know, because you know what, these running backs are starting to dig their feet in the ground. They're starting to put their feet in the sand, and that's the only reason my heart says I think my mind, I don't know which one is saying it. It's my heart or my mind. I don't know which one is saying it, but it's like I want him to be there, but I just have this feeling like this could be something that could go on a little bit longer, because like you said, the lockout is looming over the NFL players. They've already sent out paperwork to start saving your money, how to start budgeting, start doing those things. The NFL sent letters out to all the players to start doing this, because this is a high probability this can happen. And you have running backs who are saying, just like Melvin Gordon, he's not going to get paid from the Chargers. I don't believe he's asking for 13, 14 million. He's not getting that money. So he's going to be somewhere else. These running backs now are getting smarter, and they're even talking about a possible union, a set aside for just running backs, because they realize now that once they're like 21, 22, 23 in their first 1, 2, 3 years in their contract, they have to try to renegotiate, because when they get to 25, people look at them like they're used goods, unless they're like at the apex of the rushing list. You saw what just happened to Jordan Howard. He was he was the darling with the Bears. Everybody was talking about Jordan Howard. Where is he at now? He's with the Eagles. They got rid of him.
That's where it's always been, though. It's always been like that with the running backs. That's just a position that they selected to pick up and try to play. Look, running backs is not going to get wide receivers money. Wide receivers not going to get quarterbacks money. So my thing is, that's something that they have to look at before they even decide to play football in the National Football League, NFL. My thing is, Ezekiel Elliott, I think that he can live comfortably. And I can't count another man's money, but $13 to $14 million. Do you want the money? Are you out for the money, or are you out for the rings? Are you out for the wins, or are you out for the shine of bringing in money? Because I just don't understand that part of it. Maybe because I'm not a running back, but
well, you know what I don't understand about it, to me, Law, and like you said, I'm not counting your money, dog. Like, get your money. You're one of the best you played like the best at your position the last 3 years. I get it. I understand it. But as you said, like, if you're the highest paid, you're only going to be the highest paid for like 2 weeks, or like a month, or like 5 months, and then somebody's going to trump you. And then within a couple of years, when you was the highest paid, you're going to be like the 6th highest paid. That's just the way it happens, because those contracts come so quick. So it's kind of like, I understand the players trying to get that money, but at the same time, it's kind of like, do you have to be the top paid? Because like Amari Cooper, like, you don't deserve no 19. I'm not saying you deserve, but your numbers don't say no Michael Thomas money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When they offered Sammy Watkins, I could see 17 million or more than him. What's wrong with that? And that's not comfortable, Amari. I mean, how much more money do you need? $17 million a year? That's not comfortable. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I never had that, so that's why I'm thinking that. But where do these guys think that one more million is better?
Right. So that's the problem. Look, I heard it was a player. I think it was an NFL player. He said, look. I think it was Reggie Bush, actually. He said the money that Le'Veon Bell missed out, he would never get that money back again. And I think he missed out, what, $45 or $50 million? He sat out a whole entire year. Mm-hmm. He would never get that type of money again. Now, of course, he's making more money than I can count and see right now. But what I'm saying is that these players, is it about the money? I know it's about the fame and about the money, but come on, man. I know that we arguing about it. And you got the billionaires on the other end. They laughing because they only give up a small fraction of the percentages of their money, just like Jerry Jones, the billionaire that he is. Hey, he don't pay a dime for that facility out there in Frisco. That's all sponsored and it's all these sorts of things down there in Arlington. Everybody that stays in that area, they got taxes out of the wazoo. You better not look for a house in Arlington right now, Cowboys.
Right.
Because they paying for it out there. So these billionaires, they learn how to use other people's money. My thing is, if the CBA is smart enough, they'll look at those NBA contracts and say, okay, if the NBA was able to do it, I think that we should find ways to do it, meaning that we'll play halfway through the season and then we'll just all of a sudden have our strike. Because the NFL is strange, fam. The reason why I say that, Big Game James, because you know why?
Why?
If a strike happened tomorrow and they said, okay, we're going to close all NFL operations, and you get a phone call by Jerry Jones saying, hey, Big Game James, I heard that you used to play football. Do you think you want to come out and try for the Dallas Cowboys for $300,000 a year? What would you do?
I'll be on that first plane there. I'll be like, where's my ticket? How quick can I be there? And that's what's going to happen. I mean, I seen the strike season. I didn't see the first one. I think 83. I seen the 83, but I was a little bit younger. But the 87 I seen, and it was terrible because I still watched it. I still watched the strike season, but it was just crazy because when I'm watching my Cowboys, I'm used to seeing, the Danny Weiss, the Tony Dorsetts, all those guys playing, and you seeing who? I don't know your name. These guys are playing like it was, and then you have some guys that were cross the line, and then it got like super heated, like they were ready to fight those people. So it was crazy. It wasn't quality football. Man, I don't want to see anything like that. But at the same time, I understand why the players have to do what they do because the owners just pretty much do whatever they want with the players.
They do. In the NFL, there's no individual branding. As we look at the illustration that's on our platform now, you see Ezekiel Elliott. He got the Cowboys helmet on. He got the Cowboys shoulder pads and gloves on. So you got to squint your eyes to see what he looked like under there. My thing is basketball. Man, you can do individual branding because you got your head out there. People know what you look like. They know how to identify you. And whether or not you're a scrub player or not, you're going to get the exposure. And then there's a smaller group of teams. So when they're smaller, there's more unity. And football, it's two different worlds. Like you were just saying, that the running backs trying to find their own union committee and all this stuff. Look, it's a different world between running backs and wide receivers. It's a different world between quarterbacks and everybody else. It's a different world between offense and defense. Basketball, you play both sides of the ball, and you're in the same world. You're in the same world. You're in the same universe.
Well, we're going to see what's...
Yeah, I know I'm long-winded on it, but you know how I'm...
No, you're good. Yeah, I feel you. My thing is, like I said, we're going to see. I'm just... I don't... When somebody asked me what was my gut feeling, my guy, Job Young, he asked me what was my gut feeling a couple of days ago about the Ezekiel Elliott situation. I told him, I don't have a gut feeling because I honestly do not know because... Running back to me is a touchy situation. I said that this was going to happen, and now we're just going to see. I think it comes down to, does Ezekiel Elliott want to miss that money? Like you said, you're never going to be able to, or you might not be able to recoup that money that you're sitting out. But I haven't heard anything about the Cowboys finding him yet.
Nah, they haven't found him.
And that's pretty big because he was subject to fines on the 6th.
Pretty true.
So I think that's kind of telling as well that the Cowboys could have been finding him every day that he has missed camp and they have not fined him, or they have not said nothing about it because I haven't heard anything about any fines, and they said after the 6th, that's when he can get fined.
So many things, man. We don't even know, especially Jerry Jones. Boy.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. So we're getting ready to wind down here. We like doing the late night hype. Shout out to Silver and Blue Nation, Big Game James, Law Nation. I appreciate you coming on. I always love doing good shows, and we're going to have another show going on this week at the Cowboys Experience exclusively. Make sure, as I said before, if you're thinking about going to a football game, if you're thinking about having a good time seeing us, Law Nation, Producer G, us out there kicking it, man, get on this Cowboys Experience. They have the really good packages, low packages. I think they're like the best rates in town across the board. Barry Griffith is second to none. Law, you already know. I think you might be coming up, might be doing another function with him, bro. I don't know if you're going to that Drew Pearson thing, but I know you've been in cahoots with Barry doing all kind of things.
Oh, yeah.
He's been top notch to us, and I just tell you that if you're really trying to feel the real Cowboys experience, that's what they call it, because it is a Cowboys experience. It's gonna be something like no other. So please get in our inbox, Silver and Blue Nation. You can holler at Law, Big Game James. Check us out if you're trying to find out packages as far as those games are concerned this season. Now, last few topics on the list right here: injuries. Law, we got two big injuries right now. They're kind of maybe downplaying them a little bit, but Tyron Smith's back is acting up. We've been seeing it the last 3 years. We saw 2017. It killed us when he sat out all those games with that bad back. And then now we hear about Zach Martin having a possible bulging disc, which is never good. And one thing about back injuries, I think those are the worst injuries. You can have a bad knee, bad foot, ankle, all that good stuff. But if you have a back injury, you can't do nothing. You don't have a back, you can't do nothing. You're in a wheelchair. You can't move. You can't do anything. So to me, that is concerning, because I feel like Tyron Smith needs surgery. But I feel like they keep on wanting to hold it off because maybe they don't know what's going to happen with him. Now you got Zach Martin with a possible bulging disc. That sounds like surgery.
Yeah, it does.
And that's concerning, because we have been talking about, we just lost Travis Frederick last year. Now we get guys back in the fold. Everybody's feeling good. Now you got possibly these guys could be having issues. Is that concerning to you right now?
I mean, it is an old wait and see situation. And I said the famous philosopher said, it is what it is. The anonymous famous philosopher said that. My thing is with this, like you said, you hit a strong point. Once that back is out, it's just like those knees. Once those knees go bad, they gone. Just like Patrick Ewing. You remember Patrick Ewing, fam?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Them knees go, man. You gone, man. So back is the same situation. My thing is, with Tyron, is he just gonna have to rest? And then with Zach, it's a horrible news for me to hear that with the bulging disc. I think that's something that you can't just rest on that part of it. It's going to have to need surgery. I'm not a medical professional here, so I'm not going to give you guys my thoughts on that. But all I can say is that this team, and I'm going to repeat, this team didn't have a healthy offensive line since 2016, man. There's something going on with that.
Yeah, something is going on with that. Yeah. I'm nervous because I don't like it, because, as I said before, now the good thing about it is, let's say Zach Martin is out. You can slide Joe Looney there at the right guard position, because I know he plays guard. You can slide a Joe Looney right there. I feel good about that. And if Tyron Smith does get injured, I feel good about Cam Fleming being there, because, as I told you, I feel like he stepped up. So that makes me feel a little bit better, because when we had those injuries with Tyron Smith before, you had Chaz Green. And then you had the other guy that was terrible. He came from the Titans. I can't remember his name. He was so garbage. But now I feel a little better with the injuries, that you have capable backups and you have guys that can slide in and out. I think Joe Looney is a huge addition. Number one, I love Joe Looney because his attitude. That dude is freaking hilarious. You only meet one Joe Looney. You interviewed him. And I know you had a really good interview with him last year, and I know he's just a character. But I believe he's got talent, man. And I feel like he can slide in and maybe help to that. But I do worry about these back injuries for the players, because back injuries are never good, because you're getting hit every single play, and you're pushing. Guys are pushing and putting stress on that back every single play, and they never seem to go away unless you possibly have a surgery. Because even, DeMarcus Lawrence, remember, he had two bad back surgeries back-to-back years, and people were wondering, is he ever going to come back and be the same person?
Yeah, and that's why they drafted Taco because of that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So we look at those backs, man. Like you said, that's where all the nerves and the major nerves are at, and they control most of the parts of the body. So, man, motor functions and things like that, you need that quick reactionary movement, especially as an offensive lineman. And I just hope that everything, all we can do, Cowboy Nation, is pray. Because we would never get enough information from the Cowboys, and we'll only get the narrative spin from the national media. You see, so we would never get all of the information that we need. But that's why we just have to wait till September to come around, and we'll know week 1 against those Giants whether or not Tyron and Smith is healthy or whether or not Zach Martin is out there on the field.
Yeah. So we're gonna see what happens. So, hey, think about this defense right quick. Chris Richard's out there, as you can see the photo of Chris Richard. I love some Chris Richard, but please let Jay Lewis get that work. It looks like he's going to. Are the Cowboys finally going to get some turnovers this year? Is this the year that you're finally going to see turnovers on the front, interceptions? Because it's been a long time since the Cowboys had some interceptions in the backfield. Do you see that this year? I do. What are your thoughts?
Man, there have not been a Cowboys game this year without a turnover. So I'm looking at it like this, James. If we can continue to keep that same energy and move forward into this regular season, and I think the way Chris Richard is teaching these guys, play in front of the ball, play the hands, also the defensive front being aggressive, then the DBs that's out there on the front too, they are being aggressive, chipping away. I'm thinking that each inch by inch can cause the quarterback to be harassed, get off his marker, throw the ball before he really it's getting late. Really willing to. Yeah, y'all say that fast about 5,000 times. Really willing to throw. Really willing to throw.
Really willing to throw.
Yeah. Really willing to throw. Look, we saw one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. We got a chance to see our eyes with number 9 play for the New Orleans Saints, right? Knock him off his marker, got him off his beat. He wasn't really willing to throw because interception number 20. Hey, thank you for tuning in to the Lunch. As you take a deeper look at my guy, Jordan Hip Pocket Lewis. He shut down Alvin Kamara. Saints fans wanted to know, but we'll tell them that, hey, also they were spooked because we had a guy number 90. He said, I want to punch him in the mouth. And all the major media was like, oh, Cowboys talking cash money. But guess what? We're going to bring that energy all year this year because look, second year with Chris Richard, going to be more turnovers and takeaways, in my opinion.
I definitely feel that way. I posed a question on my page. Xavier Woods gets 5 interceptions. Is that a fact or fiction? I say it's a fact because you know what? He has done it before. He had an interception, I believe, last year. He had a couple other ones that were right there. So I believe he can do it. I think if Jordan Lewis gets on that field and plays a lot this year, I say Jordan can get at least 3. He's been a playmaker this year. Woods has already got 3 interceptions in training camp and took 2 back to the house. Jordan Lewis has 2 interceptions himself. So Dak Prescott threw 5 interceptions. Jordan Lewis had 2 of them. Xavier Woods had 3. That's just to let you know. I think that we're going to have more improvement on that back end, and I do feel like we're going to have a lot more turnovers. I just feel like in going forward, as we get ready to close, this is the year. We say that every year, but this is the year. Your back is against the wall, Jason Garrett. Even with the adversity, there's still no excuses. Even with the adversity with Ezekiel Elliott, there's still no excuses. Even with the injuries with Zach Martin and Tyron Smith, there's no more excuses. Even with a lot of the rookies on the team this year, it's no more excuses, Law. Everything has to come together. And if you're a good coach or trying to be that great coach or the guy that's consistently going to the playoffs like a Bill Belichick and those guys, they make it happen with who they have, no matter what.
You got to do it. Coach Red is all the weight of the world, the weight of Cowboy Nation. We supposed to be the biggest, the best out there that has ever seen, right? Silver and blue to the day we die. Yeah, you cut us, we bleed blue. You know how this thing go. We supposed to be the best. You got Coach Red, his back against the wall. All of those excuse stuff, man, you got to take that off the shelf because right now, Cowboy Nation, this is like my closing argument. If Jason Garrett don't get us to multiple playoff wins this year, it's sayonara. It's just how it goes, man. Because now you got no excuses. And then even I gotta say this, Dak Prescott. It's no more of the excuses like, oh, he was running across the smoke screen and I couldn't see him. I couldn't hit him in the flats, or I couldn't hit him on a deep 9 route, or I missed my target because of this and because of that. No, all that stuff, you got to take that and remove it off the shelf. This defense still going to be flying out to the ball. Look, the defense did their job last year. They were just horrible and suspect against the run up the middle. There's no more excuses for that now, Big Game James. Yeah, there's no more, because they went and drafted and they went and picked up some guys. Was it Tristan Hill? Mm-hmm. They put him. They got him on his team. It's a contract year for Malik. They went and got some reinforcement for number 51. Hey, it's zero excuses. It's zero. So
it's no excuses. I've been saying that from day one, and I've usually been going hard on Garrett, saying we weren't going to win with him. But I said, you know what? I'm preaching positivity and just the positive vibes. But at the end of the day, it's no excuses, dog. Like, it's no excuses for this team. It's no excuses, no injury excuse. It's no nothing. You know what I mean? Guys have to make plays. And like I said, if you're a coach that is trying to be that upper echelon coach year in and year out, you have to make do with what you have. And we have a talented team. And even if some guys get hurt, you still have some capable backups still able to make plays. So guys have to be able to make plays, but coaches need to put them in the positions to make the plays and make the right decisions. And Jason Garrett has to do that this year. To me, it's not multiple playoff wins. It's at least to an NFC championship. It has to be at least to an NFC championship, because too many times it's a first round and then a loss. It doesn't have to be like that, because if you look at our talent across the board with every NFC team this year, they can bang with anybody. So
the reason why I said multiple playoff wins, because thou shall decree a thing and it shall be established. I'm telling you right now that we're gonna have a first round, we're gonna have first playoff bye, man. That's what I'm saying. You know, I'm already declaring and decreeing that, man, my brother.
Right. I'm with you. And the church say, "Amen,
hallelujah."
Can I get an amen? Yeah. So, about to head off here. Do we got any fan people that's in the feed right now? Give me a few questions. We had some few questions that we ended with our last feed. Give us some few questions to me and Law right now. We'll take a few of your questions. Sorry if we weren't getting to them earlier. But throw a few questions. Don't have one of them long-winded questions that are going to give us like 20 minutes to answer, because it got to be in and out. But give us some quick questions. We talk back, and let's shoot them out, man. Shoot them out. Shoot them out. Let me see if who's on shoot them out.
On the Facebook panel, Ron Humford said, "We are deeper than many of our past teams. This should be no excuses." You're right. Is Zeke going to play? Yeah, Joey, I think Zeke going to play. Who you got over there? Those on my Facebook panel. What you got?
I'm on the YouTubers, so I'm waiting for somebody. Somebody send me some questions on here. You keep on coming with yours, statements.
All right, Miss Cowboys Scouting says a pro. Got to put pro in there, because she ain't just Miss Scouting.
She goes hard.
She go hard.
Let me say that name to me again.
Miss Scouting Pro.
Miss Scouting Pro, because she was going hard on me the couple weeks ago. I'm sorry, Miss Pro. I will get better.
Hey, she brings the facts, man.
She brings it.
Yeah, she brings the facts.
I know a little bit too, so don't try to slide me though. But go ahead, have her question. What's her question?
Savage time. Okay, let me see what we have here. How many touchdowns for Tony Pollard this year?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I'm greedy. I want more than 6.
I'm gonna say 5. Ooh. I'm gonna say 5 touchdowns.
5. I got 5 on it.
You got 5 on it? What you think?
Oh man, I was shooting for 6, but hey, Jesse Newman said, hey, keep it like 6 or 7. Oh no, are we keeping 6 or 7 wide receivers? Jesse Newman.
Ooh, I say 6.
Oh wow. I ain't gonna say name the 6 though. It's too quick right now. We gotta see this game.
I'll name the 6 right now.
Go ahead. You bad, boy. You bad.
Right now, I think the 6 is Amari Cooper, Cobb, Gallup, Tavon Austin. They love Noah Brown, so he's in that mix. Noah Brown and Cedric Wilson. With Devin Smith, I feel like if they start him in the 3rd preseason game and he blows up, I think he could clip Noah Brown, because I definitely feel like they're going to keep Cedric Wilson.
So this is his all or nothing game.
I think this is his all or nothing game. Start him, please.
Okay. All right.
Let me get some questions on. They started to shoot them out on my end. All
Go
right. So Aaron asks, you think Kellen Moore got something under his sleeve? Yeah, I think he does. I think he's just kind of doing vanilla, but I think week 1, you're going to really see what he's really trying to do. Derek Savage asks, will Justin Phillips make the team?
Nah. P.S. Practice squad. Would you have Gifford? Would you have Gifford or him? Because you know he's gonna go to IR, and then you gotta find a spot.
I would have Gifford over Phillips. I definitely like Gifford, but he's gonna go to IR. But I think he's gonna make the team, but it's gonna be a practice squad just because they're gonna try to do those one things as far as their numbers. Copperface King asks, will Connor McGovern play this year?
Well,
he's got that pick injury. I think he will. I think it's gonna be later in the season though.
Todd Davis says, would Dak Prescott get paid this year or next? Would you hold his feet to the fire?
Oh, that's tough. Like, I think he might. Ooh, that's tough because I don't know if he gets paid this year. I think they might I think because Jerry said he's cool with them going into the year and making them bet on themselves. So I think it's gonna be maybe next year.
Man. So you're gonna pull a Joe Flacco?
Might be. I just don't feel like they're gonna. I think Jerry's gonna want to see this year.
Let's see.
I think he's betting on himself too.
Are we all disappointed at Michael Jackson? His name went away. Whoever asked that question, just post your name again. He said, "Are we all disappointed at Michael Jackson?"
No, I'm not disappointed. I feel like he's a rookie, and I feel like, you know what, it's not like he's been terrible in coverage. It's just he's a rookie. So I'm okay with, if they put him on the practice squad, I'm okay with that because I like Alumba better right now.
Oh, man. Mark on the Facebook panel, he said this, and we haven't even brought his name up.
Oh.
Is it time to look for a new kicker? Oh my goodness. My goodness.
Boothang asked the same thing. She just said they think they keep this stupid, messy kicker or find a new one. So Boothang was right there with you on that one. I mean, where do you find a field goal kicker? I don't know him. Everybody's talking about Matt Bryant. I don't know. Figure it out because Maher, if you're missing in preseason games, if you're missing in practice, you daggone sure gonna miss it in a game, and you daggone sure gonna miss it in a clutch game when we're gonna need it. So yeah, they need to figure it out. But I'm not a field goal kickerologist, so I don't know where they're at.
That would be crazy. We get all the way, I ain't gonna talk about that. I ain't gonna talk about that kicker.
All right, so I got Jermaine Reeves as Law. Do you think Dak is going to shut a lot of people up this year? Yes. But they're still going to talk. But I think he's going to quiet a few people. But I definitely feel like he's going to have a career type year this year. Yes.
Oh yeah, this is MVP Dak. That's my. That should be a hashtag MVP Dak. That's what I'm feeling over here.
Mm-hmm. And I got one last one. And then you give me yours, Law. One last one on my end and one last one on yours. Copperface King asks again, why isn't Donovan getting any playing time at strong safety? Well, he played yesterday. I didn't get to see it. He was real quiet yesterday, and I think it was just that front seven was playing really good. But I feel like they like Wilson, and they don't want to lose him or take the threat of losing him, and I think that's why he'll make the roster because they don't want to have the chance of him getting put out there on waivers and somebody claiming him. So I think they'll put him on that roster.
Yeah, and the hardest thing to evaluate during preseason for me are the safeties and the cornerbacks because I only have the broadcasting view. They don't do the all 22 view for that, and so you really don't know whether or not he was in place or not out of place. So
all 22 film is everything.
Yeah, it's everything. Hopefully down the line, the NFL will give us some of that footage just there. Here goes Miss Scouting Pro. The last questioning on the Law Nation page, YouTube page. She says, why do you think Wentz and Goff aren't playing right now?
Well, I think Wentz is not playing right now because I feel like, they're worried about that injury bug with him, and they're so daggone thin at the quarterback position that they don't want to risk anything with him right now. Goff, I don't know why they're really not playing Goff. That's kind of a mystery to me. Maybe they want to get a real good look at their young guys and they feel satisfied with him. So, yeah, that's an interesting question. I think Wentz is injury issues. Goff, I don't know, because I feel like golf, to me, I'm gonna just keep it real. I don't think golf is all that. I never thought was in love with golf. I never liked golf, and I think golf is more of a system quarterback to me. And I feel like if golf went somewhere else, he's not gonna ball out and do anything. He has to have really a good coaching, and I think golf is overrated. That's just my opinion on him, and I just feel like he's super overrated. And if he gets that big money, you better best believe if he gets money, then Dak Prescott definitely better get money. If Jared, or whatever the hell his name is, if he gets money, Dak Prescott better get money.
Yo, Jared Goff, man. I don't know, man. My thing is with Jared Goff, we saw how he looked with Fisher as his head coach, and then we saw last year, okay, a lot of people were pumping him up, but like you said, he could be a system guy. We'll know in a few years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was all the questioning. One more.
I got one more because it's a good one. Go ahead. You give me your last one.
Who has the most sacks after D-Law?
Ooh.
Who's going to have more sacks after? Because D-Law will have all the sacks.
That's a good one. Is it going to be the Mighty Quinn? I'm going to go out there and say a Mighty Quinn, and I believe it's going to be Slippy. He's going to be close. I got somebody for you. I think Quinn is going to be the second, but I think a guy like Dorrance Armstrong Jr. might surprise. He's going to surprise people, because I feel like Dorrance Armstrong Jr. will be that guy that he'll come off and get some sacks in bunches. When you see a guy who doesn't start, but he'll come and get a 2-sack game, I think that's what Dorrance Armstrong will get and surprise people.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. You took it right out of my mouth. I was talking about to say DA.
My bad. I can't help it. I've been on him. I've been on the train.
He can be an 8 to 9, 8 to 10 sack guy.
Definitely. So here's my last one on my end from Derek Savage. Would you start Christian Covington or over Antoine Woods? No. Now Christian
Covington, por favor.
Here's the question: would you start Christian Covington over Antoine Woods?
I still didn't catch it.
Christian Covington over Antoine Woods. Would you start Christian Covington over Antoine Woods?
Oh, Christian Covington, man. Hey, it's something freakish athletic with that guy's size.
He's big.
Give me that Christian Covington, man.
You would start Covington over Woods?
Man, it's just something that I like out of his height and his power. He pushing the pocket back. Last year he had more sacks than Antoine Woods last year.
I know it's 3.5 part-time.
Part-time.
I like it. Yeah, you may change, but maybe I'm going with Woods because of the name. But Christian Covington is very active. He was active all camp, like you said. He's every bit of almost 6'2", and he's a big, wide body, and he goes at it and he pushes that pocket. So we'll see down the line. They're both on 1-year deals right now, so they both have to show improve to get this next contract. So that competition in there is going to be fierce and hectic. So it's going to be something to see, because you know how Marinelli likes to keep his rotation and his guys fresh. So those guys are definitely going to be rotating in and out. So we'll see who's really going to make that pocket, and who's really going to be that middle guy that they can really depend on going on into 2019. So we're going to end it with that one. We appreciate everybody today staying up on the late night hype. It's almost 1:00, and we've been doing a lot of late night shows, and we've still been having a lot of people staying in the feed. It's been excellent. We appreciate y'all. Please continue to like, subscribe, donation. We need them. We got to keep them donations rolling to keep subscribing, to keep our channel strong and live, so we can keep on bringing you that great fire content. So we thank you once again. We'll be seeing you on Tuesday on the Cowboys Experience, and we'll also be going on during the week with some more shows. So just continue to chime in, tune in, all that good stuff. So without further ado, Silver and Blue Nation, Big Game James, and Law, tell them where they can find you, just in case they don't know.
Oh man, just check out LAW Nation, especially on the gram. You want to ask me a question? DM me. Just put up LAWS Nation on the gram and DM me, and I can pretty much reply to your questions there. And remember, you all are listening to nothing but the best.
Salutes. Hey, we'll talk to y'all soon. We'll see you. Peace.
Peace.